Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Coach's Cage for this Wednesday night. What is it? It's October 25th? Is that right? I think so,
Yes,
yeah.
yes, that is correct. Good job.
So we have one season to wrap up tonight. John Ewing from North Newton is unavailable to come tonight. He'll be back next week to talk about his season. But another team that's wrapped up, it's the Tri-County Cavaliers, and Coach Jake West has joined us. Jake, good evening. How's it going?
Oh, it's going. Be a little bit better if we were still practicing football, but it is what it is.
Is that a shock when that comes to an end?
It's weird because you get so used to the daily schedule, and all of a sudden it's just done.
So Monday you were saying, why aren't we practicing? Right?
Well, Monday we stayed after a little bit because we had to turn equipment in. We had our end of the season meeting, so
okay.
I got home a little bit later. Tuesday I went home right after school. I was like, well, this sucks. Actually, no, I take it back. Tuesday we didn't have school at parent teacher. So today I went home right after school. I was like, well, this sucks. So yeah, it is what it is.
All right. Well, you played Carroll, a third-ranked team in the
they're not
Class
bad.
A.
You don't get to be top 3 on accident.
Undefeated.
Undefeated.
Tell us about the game.
Well, they have 58 kids on their roster.
Whoo, for a Class A school.
For a Class A school, they have 34 upperclassmen, including 20 seniors.
That's got to be as much as anybody around.
Absolutely. And our kids battled hard. I want to make sure that is abundantly clear. Carroll had 3 kids that played both ways. Only 3, which means that they have 8 dudes who are getting a breather every time they're on either side of the ball. I have 9 kids that play both ways. So they battled that first half. We went into the halftime down 21-0. We had one drive that got into the red zone, and we just couldn't finish it off. It is what it is. So, we had a chance of going into halftime 21-7. But, again, that's a good team. They haven't given up more than one score in a game yet this year. So we were able to put a drive together at the very end of the game and score. Kobe Baylor was able, as a senior, was able to put the ball in the end zone one more time. And then Anthony McFadden, who's our other senior, he ran the 2-point conversion in. So I was able to get both of our seniors in the end zone one more time. So that was cool for me to see them kind of end their careers that way. But yeah, no, Carroll they're really good.
What's it like when your season ends? Do you say anything? You have anything to talk about, or no?
Well, I think the first thing is you have to find something to hang your hat on,
right?
Because obviously everyone's goal is to win the last game, and obviously we didn't win the last game.
Only 6 teams do that.
Only 6 teams do that. It must be nice. So it's like, so what are you going to hang your hat on? 2 years ago, Tri-County didn't win a single football game. Last year we only won 2. This year we won 5, and that's with playing one less game because we didn't have a week 6 or 7, whatever it was. That's something to be said. This is the best Carroll team we've played. This is the best Carroll team that our seniors have played. And this is probably the best we've played them in that 4-year stretch. I mean, if you go and you look at their schedule this year, I think we have the second closest game that they've played this year. And I mean, yeah, okay, so we lost 42-8. Like, that doesn't look good on paper, but yeah, they're really good, and we've gotten a lot better. We only have 2 seniors, Kobe Baylor and Anthony McFadden, and we bring everyone else back. So another good offseason, who knows what can happen.
So take us through the end of the season. What happens, like Monday and all that stuff, and this week, or if anything happens this week?
Well, so when the season ends, I always tell the kids, I don't want to see you for a week. Go enjoy.
They probably say
the same for you, Coach. We don't want to see you either. But no, it's like I want them to still be kids and to still enjoy their high school experience.
Right.
There's kids who wrestle. There's kids who play basketball. You don't have to go into the gym. You don't have to go into the wrestling room right away. Go take a week to be a kid again. Because you just went through a gauntlet. I mean, football season technically starts in June, right?
Yeah.
That's when we start summer practice. It starts in
Right.
June. So June, July, August, September, October. We're at the end of October. That's a long time. Yeah, that's a long time. Go take a break. Go be a kid. Go enjoy a week. For the kids who don't do a winter sport, I'll open the weight room up after that first week, and we kind of start our journey to the next season. And that was kind of the thing that our kids looked at is, we've been working towards this game for basically 365 days. We've been working towards it. And for them to see their growth, I think was huge. So, but yeah.
What recap the season? I don't mean go game by game.
No, you're good. You're good.
Overall,
I thought overall we had early on we struggled. I find it easiest to coach a spread offense because it gives you more variability. You can do kind of more things. Now, the problem is, okay, so like in the run game, as an example, in a spread offense, you force your offensive line to block a lot of one-on-one matchups. So if you have one guy who messes up his matchup or loses his matchup, the play is kind of shot all to crap. So it makes it hard to establish any kind of offensive continuity when you're in that kind of spread attack, unless you're really good at it, right? So for us, we kind of had a philosophy shift halfway through the year where we went to I formation, we went to smash around football, and you can tell that West Central game is kind of the turning point for us. We got our teeth kicked in at home. Everyone wrote us off as dead. Tri-County sucks again, and we lined up versus North White, and we were up 22-7 at the end of the first quarter versus North White, and we ran the ball up the middle, I think, almost every play, and it was like, hey, surprise, here we are. And so, we hang 30 on North White, and we give them a challenge. And then from then on, we, I think, won out from there on until we got, obviously, to Carroll. So we put, a winning streak together. We won 4 games. That's the longest winning streak since 2018 or whatever. So it was a good year of growth for us in all facets of the game.
You mentioned your 2 seniors. Expand on them a little bit.
So Kobe Baylor is one of, I don't want to say he's like the best kid I've ever coached. You can't ask for much more than what Kobe and Anthony both give you. Like, you really can't. Kobe has darn near a 4.0 GPA. He's never in trouble. He's the kind of guy who would crawl over a grenade for his teammate. He plays quarterback, but he identifies as a fullback or as a left tackle. It's crazy. And if you had a team of those guys, you would be really, really successful. And there are teams that have a whole team of those guys, and they're really, really good. And Anthony McFadden, he transfers in from Twin Lakes, so I really only got to coach him for a year. There's not much he can't do on a football field. And between those two, their leadership, their versatility, their experience, it's hard to replace that. So I love them both. They're like little brothers to me. I have them both in class. They're both little turds from time to time, but they're great kids. We have 2 managers as well who are seniors. Talia, who she's going to win state this year in wrestling. She's going to for girls state. It's going to happen. I put it on the radio, so now she has to.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it's no pressure. And then Aiden McMorrow, who actually works here at Arnie's, he's our film guy. And it's our kids enjoy them as being part of the team just as much as they enjoy being part of it as well. So it's great to have those 4. And I'm going to miss all 4 of them dearly. So.
Well, usually we have to spend about 15 minutes with teams talking about seniors.
Yeah, I
dig
deep.
You've got a lot of experience coming back.
Absolutely.
So the future probably looks bright for Tri-County.
The future looks bright. So next year we return 9 starters on offense and defense.
There's no excuse then.
There's no excuse. Yeah, there's no excuse. And our kids know, and it's kind of something we talked about. I was like, okay, so we return a lot. We are no longer under the radar. Understand that there's a little bit of a target on your back now. So you have 2 options. You can either take that information and you can push yourself harder to try and account for that, or you can kind of rest on the work you've already done and pray that no one catches you. Usually when you do that, people end up catching you. So I'm excited to see the weight room turnout on Monday when we kind of get back to it, and see how many are answering that challenge.
What was your second year at Tri-County like?
A lot better in the first.
Compared to the first one.
A lot better.
Yeah. Were you
and
more comfortable in your role as a coach?
Absolutely. And I'm growing as a coach. I always tell kids this, like, you didn't let me down, I let you down. Like, the deal we make at the beginning of the year is, as long as you give me your best effort and you do the job to the best of your ability, anything bad that happens is my fault. If I tell Kobe, hey, throw this post route, and it's a pick 6, whose fault is it? Now, if he holds the ball and he waits for the post route to clear all the way through the middle of the field to the far side, and then he throws it, that's a little bit his fault. But it's kind of one of those things where it's like, okay, if I tell you to do this, and you do it to the best of your ability just as I told you how to do it, and it doesn't go well, it's on me. So, when we have an incompletion and he wants to get mad at himself, I'm like, nope, it wasn't you, it was me. I didn't coach you well enough. We have a dude who misses a block. Nope, you didn't miss that block because of you. It's because of me. I didn't coach you well enough. And I think the kids seeing that really goes a lot for them because they say, like, hey, as long as I do my best, coach is always going to have my back. So for me, that was a big thing, seeing them kind of buy into that. And then from a play caller standpoint, I had a lot of growth as well. I felt like because I've always coached defense. So coaching defense versus coaching offense is a very different thing. So I had to learn to to do things schematically that played to our kids' best strengths. Like I'm asking kids who are maybe not good at something to try and do that thing, and it's not going well, and I'm just like, well, why is it not going well? I'm coaching you as best I can, but you have to lean into your kids' strengths. So I think as the year went on, we kind of did that. The results spoke for themselves.
How are the numbers at the younger levels?
They're not where I would like them to be, but they're okay. Ideally you would like about 10 kids per class. That's like almost perfect, especially at the middle school level. And I think we have about 8 per class right now.
So it's getting closer.
It's getting closer. I would like I said, I would like to have 20 kids on the junior high team. I think we're sitting right at 16. So I would like to be a little bit better. And like right now, so in the high school, we have 25 kids on the team that graduate too. So our numbers should go up next year. So that's good to see. And then flag football, we had really good turnout for flag football numbers this year.
It looks like, too, you just completed your second year, so there's a little stability there at the coaching positions. There's more than one, so that's got to play a good role, too, right?
And that was the thing we identified right as we got here as a coaching staff, is our kids have had so much turnover from a coaching standpoint. It makes it hard to want to buy into a program because you never know who you're playing for.
Right.
It's you get a new coach who comes in, and the next year a new coach comes in.
You got to learn a new system.
Yeah,
and
it's and that's why I told Kobe when we took over, and I'm asking him kind of be a spread quarterback, and he's just like, I've never had to beat, like, I've never been in the gun, I've never done this stuff, I've never had to make passing reads, and I'm like, you've never done it before, I don't expect you to be great at it right away, like, so, getting kids to understand and kind of buy into what we're trying to do and embrace it, it's awesome to see, and I love the trajectory that our program is on.
Well, Jake, the last time we talked this year, I always give you a chance to thank a lot of people. There's a lot of people behind the scenes that are a big part of the Cavalier program, so take it away.
All right, I'm probably going to forget someone. I'm probably going to get yelled at. So
just apologize first.
I apologize for anyone I missed. It's not intentional. First off, I would like to thank my girlfriend because I know that she barely tolerates my schedule as is. So she's a trooper. Yeah. I would like to thank the administrative staff at Tri-County, including Mr. Culp. So you got Mr. Culp, Mr. Haskins, Mr. LeBeau, and Mr. McCracken. They're all great dudes. They're always, at our games. They're always eager to talk about how our games go. They're very supportive.
Give you their opinions, too.
Yeah, they give me their opinions. They give me their opinions. I have weekly meetings with Jeff, just kind of recap how the week went, if there's anything looking forward to, stuff like that. And it's always nice to kind of just have that and have an older kind of coach that you get to talk to a little bit.
Right.
So they do a great job. Our custodial staff, they do a great job. Our kids they're teenage boys. They're disgusting. Like they have their work cut out for them, and they take care of our stuff. They wash clothes. All those dirty. I think we have one kid who didn't wash his practice jersey for like 2 weeks. That's disgusting. I yelled at him. I was like, bro, you need to take that home. That's gross. But they're teenage boys. It is what it is.
Sure.
They do a great job. We do a grade check system where kids have to go get a grade sheet signed. So they have to go and work very closely with their teachers in all their classes and make sure they're behaving well.
Because really, academics is...
You're a student first. You're a student first. And the teachers give me great feedback. Hey, Johnny is doing a bad job right now in math. He's sleeping. Thank you. So, they do that, and then we kind of take care of it on our end. Give a nice little friendly warning, and somehow it fixes itself. Sometimes it doesn't. You have to give a little bit more stern of a warning. So the teachers, they do a great job. The parents that come out and support us, like our kids, it starts at home. They get good support at home. They come out to us. They're developed. They're positive. They're good people. That's the great thing. I keep getting these messages from people who are like, I'm shocked at like how nice your kids are, and I'm like, yeah, I am too. You should see them in class. But no, like they get raised. At home, they're good kids. They mean well, and they work hard.
Now you got to thank the band and the cheerleaders too. So.
The band and the cheerleaders. Cheerleaders got their workout in this year. They had to do all their kicks and stuff for all the points we scored. Last year they didn't do many kicks. This year they did a lot of kicks. They did a lot. I can't imagine. That's a lot to count. So they did that. The school band, the pep session, or not pep session, the pep block, whatever. They started weird. We started winning games. They started coming out in bigger numbers. That was weird how that works.
Imagine
that,
yeah.
Right? Hopefully we start off with some big crowds early in the year next year. That'd be cool to see. So yeah, no, it's there's a lot of people to thank. I'm sure I missed probably 30 people, but
Chain gang.
Chain Gang, they're good dudes. I wish
People in the press box.
I wish they would probably. Yeah. Everyone in the press box except for when the coach's cage comes by. For some reason, we don't win those games.
We did.
We went 50. We went 1-1, didn't we? Because you guys were at the South Newton game, weren't you?
Yes.
So we won that one. So we lost. We lost West Central.
Yes.
And you were at okay. So only come to South Newton games from now on.
Okay.
Yeah. So because we win those, I guess.
All right.
So, but
well, Jake, it was always a blast to go out to Tri-County. We love coming there and doing games, and love having you here each week. You're very open and honest. We appreciate that, and you have a great outlook on your team and your life, and so thanks for coming all these weeks, and we'll see you later on, all right?
Yeah, I'll see you guys next year.
All right.
Go Cavs.
Jake West from the Tri-County Cavaliers. Back and talk a little South Newton football with Brad Beavis right after this.
Working with our customers has been Kentland Bank's trademark for 87 years. We're dedicated to making your visit a lasting one, and helping you achieve your goals is our #1 priority. With 5 locations, Kentland Bank offers all loans needed for today's businesses and families, including car loans, mortgages, agriculture, and commercial loans. We're here to make your busy life less hectic by offering online and mobile banking, bill pay, and P2P payments. Member FDIC and equal housing lender.
In agriculture, preparation is important. Dedication is you deciding what to plant and then asking what it will take for a good crop. How much work will it take to produce the final crop? In sports, preparation is vital in becoming the best you can be. Dedication is a will of achievements for a winning desire. Corbett Farms encourages everyone to do their best by having a winning spirit, attitude, and achievement. Your positivity will make a difference. Corbett Farms is proud to sponsor high school sports.
Pulver Psychological Services offers psychological counseling, consultation, and assessment. Locally owned and operated, Pulver Psych focuses on solutions for the community and serves as support for individuals, families, and organizations. Whether you're in need of personal, family, or success counseling, Pulver Psychological Services can help you reach your life goals. Increase work satisfaction, have better relationship compatibility, improve sports performance. Get in touch with Pulver Psychological Services by visiting pulverpsych.com.
Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance Agent Joe Goodeman has been serving the Jasper County and surrounding area since 2009. Being involved in the area, Joe Goodeman has kept his interest in making sure he provides the best insurance for his clients. Whether you need life, car, home, business, farm and crops, or even renter's insurance, Agent Joe Goodeman will keep searching for the best policy for your valued investments. Call Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance Agent Joe Goodeman at 219-866-4694 or stop in at 2570 North McKinley Avenue in Rensselaer.
Shanley Construction, Pools, and Excavating has been improving area homes and businesses since 1973. Whether residential or commercial, they offer lawn care, installation of above-ground and in-ground pools, plus pole barn and new home construction. Shanley is your source for new driveways, parking lot expansions, as well as fence row and building site clearing. Start your project by calling Jim Shanley at 219-866-5955. Shanley, Rensselaer-based, family-owned. Call today.
And welcome back to the Coach's Cage Show, live from Arnie's in Rensselaer, right across from St. Joseph's College. Bob Kurtz and Scotty Miller with you tonight. Brad Beavis has stepped behind the microphone now to talk about the South Newton Rebels opening victory last week in sectional play. Brad, another Bowman Academy game like Tri-County had, right?
Yeah. Well, you know, we tried to make it go past halftime, but
no go.
They're just really struggling at, you know, just like Tri-County, or the game versus Tri-County. They had some injuries and just couldn't make it out. So, you know, I do feel bad for them, and that's, we want other teams to and the kids to be successful and sense that, but like they're just in in a spot right now where they just can't kind of get past that. So I hope they can get the ship righted and maybe get some more kids out and all that kind of good stuff. But for our kids, it was a good night. We got a lot of subs in early in the second quarter, and they got a few snaps in, anyways. They got some live reps in, so that was just nice for us.
So when did you know that you weren't going to play the second half?
Well, we didn't even make it to the half. So,
you didn't make it to the
No, we didn't
half,
make it to the half. So it was one of those deals where we had a kid go down for Bowman, and they had to bring the ambulance out, and more precautionary than anything, but we're doing that, and I was kind of helping with that navigation of those things. And next thing I knew, both teams were lining up on the 50-yard line. I was like, okay, I guess we're done. So that was kind of –
You never know.
I didn't know, because I was kind of doing some other things. So my assistants, they do a lot of that stuff that they have the freedom to, and those guys have been around for a long time. So they kind of took care of it along with their head coach and the officials while I was kind of helping with, Coach Bell and doing the administrative stuff, just trying to get the ambulance around the track and getting them off my field because they drove an ambulance on my field. I don't like that.
Oh, man, no.
Put a nice little rut in there. But anyways, yeah, so I was over there doing that. So it was just kind of a weird ending to a game. It's the first time I've ever had to experience that. It's kind of just – even after the game, you just feel like there's something missing because you didn't play that second half. So it was definitely different. But we had a record-breaking night. Evan Krug broke the single-season rushing touchdown record with his 23rd touchdown.
That's a lot of touchdowns.
That's a lot of touchdowns. And just think
10 games. He missed one or two, didn't he?
I missed one. Yeah, well, a little over one, yeah. Kind of second half of the Tri-County game, we really, we're kind of stuck with what we could do, so he wasn't at full go there, but then we set out the West Central game, so he was kind of short a game there. But it's a lot of touchdowns, and a lot of that is credited to his athletic ability and his skill level, but also to his teammates and line giving him some holes, and he scored 6 that night, so it was a pretty good night for him.
And you got to be proud of your team for taking care of business against a team that you should beat.
Yeah, that was kind of one of the things I was most proud of is we didn't go out there and play down. We didn't go out there and just say whatever. We know we're going to win. I thought we worked hard. We had some great blocking up front. I actually seen some double teams and some guys getting pushed around, which was just nice to see. We haven't seen that a lot this year. So those type of things was good. And then on defense, we started doing what we were kind of planning to do, and we were following our keys and just playing solid football on both sides of the ball. It doesn't matter that you're playing against a team, that is struggling. You still got to do your thing. So it's just nice to see our kids actually hold their composure, be disciplined, and do what they're supposed to do.
So what do you do after that game? You got a half to go and you're not playing it?
Yeah, it was just like I didn't know what to really say afterwards because normally that's like, especially if a game.
Good half a game.
Yeah,
right?
good, yeah. So we kind of congratulated Evan and the former record holder was there, Chris Kripe, who had 22 in 1994, I believe. He was there, so he kind of gave away his touchdown ball. So that was kind of
nice.
cool. Yeah, and I think that meant a lot. It meant a lot to me. I know Chris, but whenever somebody is humble enough to kind of pass that torch on and be there, some guys get a little regretful when you break the record, and Chris isn't that way. So that was nice to see. But we just kind of move on. The kids kind of knew where we were, and now we get ready for North Judson. But and the other good thing that we did was I'm pretty sure this is the sequence that happened. We actually Chase Tillabauer returned a touchdown or an interception for a touchdown, like 54 yards. Next offensive play, Lucas Boguski intercepts the ball, goes for a pick 6 for 52 yards. Back-to-back offensive plays. And then I think the very next kickoff, they fumble inside their 5 and pick it up and get ready to score. So Lyle Harrington was right there who jumped on the ball, could have actually picked it up and scored probably. So we could have just had to bang, bang, bang. And that's kind of when things started getting a little bit out of hand, if you want to put it that way, where we just we scored, offense, defensive plays. We scored basically in 3 straight offensive plays. So, that runs the score up pretty good. We started taking knees on our 2-point conversions because you're not trying to be out there and embarrass people.
Right.
Things like that. So we tried to take care of the game the best we could. But I think that was pretty exciting to see those 2 kids get pick 6s and Evan to get his 6 touchdowns.
You probably don't know how to react when that happens.
No. I mean, honestly, I was right in front of the Chases was on our sideline, so that was easy to see. And I coach up the DBs, so I kind of watch those guys a little more. So that was nice to see him go. And he's had, with his injury basketball season coming back, not know if he's going to play this summer, getting back on the field, kind of having a bad game.
Completely healthy or no?
I would say completely healthy, but he's able to play. I mean, he's got to wear a brace and stuff, but he's cleared. And
right.
I mean, he's all good with that. But then week 2, week 3, he kind of kind of shied away from it after playing a tough Covington game, and then we got back into it. So just to see him kind of have that after the season he's had is nice because he's a great kid. He's one of the smartest kids that I've ever coached. He knows and picks up on things very quickly. And helps us out a lot in practice, really. We do scout team stuff. But Lucas is an outside linebacker, and he picked off his across the field. I wasn't paying attention. I was looking somewhere else. And seeing him take off, I was like, holy cow, we're going for another one, I guess. So that was just kind of a cool sequence to watch those two guys.
You get used to that each week, you know?
Yeah, well, I mean, it'd be nice if we had a few. Now, the kids say that was because I was throwing so many interceptions on Thursday night practice. They were getting on me a little bit because I can't throw the ball, but I was playing scout team quarterback, so I threw about 7 or 8 interceptions Thursday night.
You got him in the
so I got him in a rhythm. That's why I said, you guys are welcome. I helped you guys out. So that was just fun. But, like I said, I think it was just a complete game, or half for us, a game. We actually played well. And now we got North Judson, who's doesn't come in with an impressive record, but they play in a tough conference. And
6-4, is that what I read?
6-4, that sounds right. But they're good. They run the option like they have traditionally for years. So it's going to be a tough task for us.
And that's away?
That's away. It's at North Judson, so we'll go there for the 3rd time in 8 years.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Wow.
So we know the track up.
So they don't ever come to South Newton?
Last year they came down.
Oh, okay.
Yep. We played them. This will be our 4th time in 8 years we've played them, and they've come to South Newton once. That was just last year. So they came.
So what are the Rebels going to do to stay competitive in this game?
Yeah, we're going to try to stop the run. I think we got to put some guys in the box and see what we can do and try to get Judson to throw the ball. And if they do that, I think that we're going to be in a lot better shape. And then offensively, we've got to block up front well enough to get the ball outside on our screen game and allow Evan and Lucas to work our option game a little bit and try to work the perimeter, because up front and in the middle they're pretty solid, and we're gonna struggle. But if we can get on the edge and get the ball outside wide, we have a chance to attack and be a little bit potent. So it's kind of those combinations, have them take long drives and see if we can't put the ball in the end zone a few times and just kind of hang around and see what happens. But I know we're the underdog, but I think that we can still hang around and cause some trouble and give ourselves a chance.
How the practice has gone this week, and how's the attitude of your ball club?
We were actually talking about that tonight with the coaches, that our enthusiasm's kind of maintained the whole year. A lot of times you get to this point of the year and kids start to drop off, and they ho-hum around, but we've really kept really good spirits, and we've kept our practices short this week, and last week kind of started tailing them down. So we're getting in and out. Our kids basically know what they should be doing. We get through our reps. As long as the reps are good, we get in and out. And so today we were done a little before 5. I think we were done around 5, a little after yesterday, and that was our long day. And then Monday was kind of similar today. We were done about 4:45, 5 o'clock. So just kind of shorten them up this time of the year, and it's about keeping kids fresh and keeping them energetic and keeping the vibes positive.
Tell us what you go through on game night when you have an away game.
I don't know.
When do you leave? When do you leave, and what do you do? What do you do?
So my routine is I like us to be there 2 hours before kickoff.
2 hours before kickoff.
So that's the same things we do at home. So when we're at home, I ask the kids to be there 2 hours before kickoff.
Right.
So that keeps things relatively the same.
And you got a creatures of habit there.
Yep, creatures of habit. So then from there we kind of go on, and then we keep everything the same, keep everything where kids are getting taped, they're getting dressed. They maybe talk to a coach about this or that. We get out into the field at relatively the same time, and you go through the same pregame at the same time. So everything stays similar. I know other guys do things differently, but I just kind of found if I can keep it around that 2 hour mark, it kind of keeps everything similar, and everything just flows right through.
And do you go out and actually hit the same your team? Do your team hit each other or not?
We don't do as much of that. I know some teams do. We don't. We're more of we go through our basic what we call everyday drills.
Right.
So it's just something we do every day. That we do offense, we do defense, and then we do team offense, and then we'll do some sort of team defense. Some days that's actually running plays. Other times that's walking through, just reviewing some things. Just depends on what we feel. We can give a look to them and what's beneficial to that day. But we don't, other than the end periods where we're going kind of semi-live, we don't do a lot of hitting. We just kind of try to progressively warm them up to that. We get to that part. We go inside 15 minutes typically, and then we're back out. So that's kind of our pregame, I guess. But yeah, we don't do. I know some teams are down there hitting each other, and sometimes I'd like to do that to wake our kids up, but we just don't do that.
And the ride home, I assume it depends if you win or lose, right? What that's going to be like.
You know, that's something that I've noticed the last couple of years with me. I've got a lot more relaxed on our ride home.
Have you really?
I used to be we're keeping it quiet no matter what, you know, what blah blah, and now I'm starting to allow a little bit more music and a little more talking back.
Softening up.
Softening up as I get a little bit older, because I'm so old now. But yeah, it's you know, even if on a loss, unless we've just played bad. You know, if we go out and play and we compete and we just happen to lose, I just think that's being a competitor and being in sports, that happens. But if we don't play well, if we're not focused, all that kind of stuff, I get a little cranky and we, you know, cut the noise level way down. But other than that, you know, I think in a win they get a little more excited, they get a little more volume level than they do in a loss. But I would say I'm not, you know, much of the quiet type anymore. I know, like whenever I played, it was dead silent on the way there, dead silent on the way back, and I was just kind of one of those things like, you know, they're kids and they just don't behave that way anymore, and you know, we just kind of changed some things. But like I said, last couple of years I've noticed myself relaxed. I'm like 3 or 4 years ago I never would allow this to happen, and I'm okay with it now. It's not doing anything wrong. It's just I'm okay with it now. So yeah, that's kind of our bus ride home. And then they always get some instructions, you know, on the way out. So what we're doing throughout the weekend or next week or something like that. So that's kind of how we end it.
And how do your equipment, all the footballs and the shoulder pads and all that, they go on another bus? Or
Nope, we pile all on one bus.
Do you really?
We actually, which I'll have to do this next year because I had a group of kids I taught how to do it last year. So for 2 years I didn't have to deal with it. But we have a great group of managers. I have a great group of upperclassmen, really, and captains that kind of take care of that. They know exactly how I want the bus loaded up, so we have a system. We put certain things on the bus in a certain order, and then the kids put all their stuff on afterwards. So most of that is so I make sure we have everything on there.
As I say,
but,
you don't forget something.
No, we have a checklist we go through and we do the whole thing. But the kids have really picked up on how to load the bus up, and when they do it the way I want them to do it, we actually have a little bit of room. Whenever they do it the way they want to do it, things are just thrown everywhere. So, but they've learned and they've kind of seen how I want it done, and they just do it. And they've helped out on a few things. They brought up some things like, "Hey, Coach, why don't we do it this way?" I'm like, "All right, let's try it." You know, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Sure.
But yeah, so but we just do one bus. We don't have a trailer. We don't have a mini bus that we take with us or anything like that. We're all one.
All
Now,
right.
I'd hope to get to the point where we have too many kids. We can't do that anymore.
Yeah, there you go.
Make Mr. Bell figure out something.
Yeah.
Make him do his job instead of just letting us have one bus.
That's
as
right.
an AD. So hopefully one day we'll get our numbers back up. But I think that the way we pack our bus and travel is really a credit to my managers. Those three girls do an amazing job. And then, like I said, just to my upperclassmen who kind of also take that on and make sure things are done the way I want it.
You have the same bus driver each week, too? Or?
Pretty much, yeah. I like him. He used to drive big buses, so he used to drive tour buses and stuff like that. So he's pretty good. I like him. I don't have to worry about him.
Don't have to worry about where you're going or anything.
No, not for the most part. Every once in a while I give him some directions when we get closer to some things because he still hasn't been to all the schools and stuff like that.
Right.
But for the most, I mean, he's been around for a long time, so he knows how to get to the towns and get around and things like that. But he does an amazing job with getting us there and getting us there on time and on the way home. It seems like we're right there. I'm sure he's obeying the speed limit, but it seems like we get home pretty quick. So I like that because there's you get some of these road trips, you just want to get home. So
be late in the evening or early morning.
Yeah, we've gotten home at midnight before, so done that.
All right, Brad. Thanks for coming over. Good luck Friday night.
Yep, thank you.
Brad Beavis. And what time is it going to game?
7 o'clock Central.
South Newton
at North Judson.
Yep. 7 o'clock Central.
Yep, 7 o'clock.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Brad Beavis from the South Newton Rebels. Back at Talk Little Rensselaer football with Coach Chris Meeks right after this.
Founded in 1931, Community State Bank in Brook is your community bank. We specialize in relationship banking while offering the technology required to meet your modern banking needs. Community State Bank is the area leader in new construction loans and home mortgages. Our lenders know small business and have products to meet your farm and business needs. We're available to get to know you and your needs today at 224 West Main in Brook or by calling 219-275-2441.
Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Hi, this is Chuck Clark with the Underwood Insurance Agency, formerly Preferred Insurance Group. Are you tired of being sacked every month with your auto insurance bill? Do you feel you just pay your premium to your agent and never hear from them? We at the Underwood Insurance Agency work with over 10 insurance carriers to get you our best rate and coverage we can, and we pride ourselves on serving our customers like they are our family. We are conveniently located in Remington and Lafayette. We can be reached at underwoodagency.com. Reach out to us to score big savings.
High-quality personalized dental service is what they do at Hillcrest Dental. For over 40 years, generations have relied on Hillcrest Dental for beautiful, healthy smiles. Dr. John Ayler and Dr. Jack Drone look forward to seeing you for your next dental visit. For information or to set your appointment, call 219-866-7117. That's 219-866-7117. Or visit hillcrestdental.net. Hillcrest Dental is a proud sponsor of all high school athletics.
24/7 Club Fit is a 24-hour keycard accessed fitness center located in downtown Rensselaer. The 8,000 square foot facility offers free weights, weight machines, and a large variety of cardio equipment. We also offer free aerobics classes. 24/7 Club Fit offers 6-month contracts starting as low as $25 per month for students, those 55 years and older, and there are no sign-up or keycard fees. We also participate in the Silver Sneakers program. Call 219-866-0033 or contact us on Facebook. 24/7 Club Fit, where time is no excuse.
Meet you at Arnie's, Rensselaer's go-to pizza and so much more. Pizza, sandwiches, burgers are here. Don't forget about dessert. Wings, cheese sticks, garlic bread too. Arnie's pizza menu has something for everyone. Dine in or carry out in the best pizza in town. Located across from St. Joseph's College in Rensselaer. Call 219-866-9999 and meet you at Arnie's.
Bob Kurtz and Scotty Miller back with you on 3KGthekage.com. Check out our website there. You can go to any archived game you want to see or coach's show. And we're going to talk a little Rensselaer Central football with Coach Chris Meeks. And Chris, I was telling you off the air that I don't get to watch very many games, but I got to watch your game Friday night in Griffith. And out of all the years, I've been covering you guys for 30 years, that was against a good quality team. That was one of the best games I've seen you guys play from start to finish in all phases.
I appreciate that. Our kids they're playing with confidence, and I think
it shows.
When you watch, I think you see the confidence that we're playing with now compared to the first half of the season. And we've moved kids around, and it's been a collection, a cohesive,
adjustments.
The coaches, the kids, and everything has to come together to make things work. And we feel like we're finally now to the point. It took us 9 games to get to that point, and that's what the regular season's for. But you want to be playing your best football come tournament time, and I really feel like we are right now.
Anything you tried last Friday worked. That doesn't happen very often.
Yeah, that's execution, and our kids executed very well.
You took time off the clock. You got 5 or 6 yards of carry, and just take us through the game.
Yeah. Well, offensively, we had 21 first downs. We had 400 yards of offense. We only had 1 turnover. So, those are ingredients to, a great offensive night. We had 42 points on the board. And then defensively, we held them to 3 first downs. Their running back, Jackson Lawson, came into the game as one of the top 3 rushers in Northwest Indiana. And I'll tell you what, our defense was blanketing him all night. We were really locked in on him, did a great job of keeping him contained so he couldn't break loose for any big runs. I think his biggest run might have been like 15 yards. But other than that, we held him down. And, again, confidence keeps coming to my mind. We are a confident group right now, and we're playing well. Kids are the chemistry is tremendous, and the kids are having fun, and that's the biggest thing. And they're not ready to end this season.
Well, not very often you get to the mercy rule in a sectional game, but boy, that happened. And tell us some of the
Yeah.
stars.
Yeah, so Cohen Westfall, our quarterback, played very well for us. He was 8 for 10 passing for 106 yards for 1 touchdown. Also had 29 yards rushing and a touchdown. When you watch them defensively, you could tell that they made a decision. They were going to stick 9 in the box, have 2 safeties over the top just to defend the big play. But 9 guys were committed to Diego all night long and to Barco at the wing position. And I thought we did a nice job. First series of plays, we had to make some changes, some adjustments in blocking schemes. Then after that, our kids adapted very well to what they were trying to do to us defensively, and got the running game going, and then that opened up the play-action passing game. So, again, Westfall was 8 for 10 passing, which is, very good. Diego Hernandez-Reyes continued with a great season that he's having. He had 28 carries for 145 yards and 2 touchdowns. He also had 2 catches for 28 yards and a touchdown. So he's currently over 1,600 yards rushing on the season.
Your backs are hard to bring down.
Coach Kennedy and I actually talked about that a few weeks ago. And when you have a back that can fall forward for 2 to 3 yards every time he goes down, and he carries the ball 28 times, that's an extra 50 to 60 yards during the course of the game. So, yeah, if you can get backs that fall forward, that puts a lot more pressure on the defense. So, and that's exactly what Diego does. Barco had 7 carries for 38 yards. He had 1 touchdown. He had 4 catches for 50 yards. And then a sophomore that, we try to get him carries is Carter Ogborn. He rushed for 79 yards and a touchdown on 6 carries. And he ripped a long one there in the second half. Caden Rowland, our senior that was back from the injury, he had 19-yard reception. And then our freshman Landon Mush, other tight end, had a 9-yard catch. And then defensively, like I said, we held their star running back to 32 total yards for the game. We held them to 3 first downs. They did hit a couple passes on us towards the end of the game. But Caden Doyle had 7 tackles, 2 tackles for loss from his defensive end position. Logan Metzger, our sophomore middle linebacker, he's having a stellar year. He had 5 tackles for us. And then Eli Dixon, a young man that we took from linebacker, sophomore, moved him to defensive line about 3 weeks ago, and he's been playing tremendous. Very quick off the ball, does a great job of pursuing the ball. So from the defensive tackle position, he had 4 tackles, 2 tackles for loss and a sack. And then Adam Ayler had a monster game. He was all over the place. And, he was tremendous for us. And then Kyler Sigmund, our soccer player / football player, was 6 for 6 on PATs and had tremendous kickoffs. John Yalloway, freshman, had a great kickoff for us. So a lot of kids contributed, and, you got to have that for a quality team win.
And talk to me about the importance of the kicking game. When you know that you're going to get an extra point, when a lot of schools don't have that luxury, that's got to be an added bonus for you guys.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm very grateful and thankful a few years ago that we made a decision as a school, as an athletic department, to, allow kids to play 2 sports in the same season.
Was that just voted upon a few years ago?
Just a few years ago. I would say probably 4 or 5 years ago. But, a lot of sports you can't do 2 in the same season. But, in terms of football and soccer, where you could borrow the kicker, that can happen. And we made it work, and we've made it work successfully. And, Kyler was an outstanding soccer player this year for our Rensselaer varsity soccer team. But on Friday nights, he's a varsity kicker for us, and he's been outstanding.
How do you do that? Do you go to the soccer coach and say, hey, give me your best kicker? Or how do you spot him, and how do you get him onto the football team?
Well, in his situation, he was in my weight class in spring. And, we talked a little about kicking, and I asked him to see if he'd want to do that. And he said, sure. And, he came out a little bit in the summer, worked on it. He worked on it a lot on his own. But his primary sport was soccer, so that's primarily where he was. But he did spend some time with us when he could. And then he'd come over 2-3 times a week after his practice in soccer and work with us for 15, 20 minutes just on kicking and punting, and he has been a great asset for us.
That takes a lot of dedication to do that,
It does, and on top of that, he works.
2 practices, yeah.
Yeah, on top of that, he works and has studies and different things. So,
Jeez.
like I said, we're very grateful that he's out, and not just as a kicker, but as a leader, too. He's a good, positive kid.
Sure. All right, we move on to this week, West Lafayette. Before we start talking about this week, go back to the first game against West Lafayette. I'm sure you probably both think you're different teams now than what happened then. So.
Yeah, I mean that was week 5, I believe, and we have changed a lot since then. I know they have changed, not just as far as personnel, moving personnel around, but also philosophical. There might be some things that they thought or that we thought we could do effectively at that time. And then as the season went on, I know defensively we've changed our philosophy a little bit, as well as offensively. And, I don't want to say both teams are totally different, but I don't think it's the 2 same teams playing, which makes it fun at tournament time. So what we do know about them is they have great athletes. They're very well coached.
And their 3 losses are to 3 great teams, right?
Phenomenal teams, yeah. So they've lost to 3, very highly ranked state-ranked opponents. So, it'll be a tough game for us, but one that, I think it'll be a nice test to see how far we've come.
Home game.
It's a home game. We lost to them 40-6, earlier in the year. But walking out of there, you hate to lose, but I felt like there were a whole lot of positives. So, hopefully we can build on those positives, eliminate some of the negatives, and tighten this game down a little bit and give ourselves a chance to win.
And you got to have a team that believes it can win.
That's the most important thing. It is. So at that point in time, I'm not sure. I go back and look at the Western game, the Twin Lakes game, the West Lafayette. I'm not sure our kids believed or knew how good we could be. At this point, we feel good about ourselves. We feel good about what we're doing. We feel good about our team. I think kids have each other's backs. The chemistry's there. And,
when did all that turn around?
Second half of the Central Catholic game.
Central Catholic game.
You could just see it. You could sense it. And our kids, the whole second half, you could just feel us getting more confident as the game went on. And, we were defending a very good team and actually outscored them in the second half. They never got – we were down 28-0 at half. But we came out and scored immediately and had a chance to cut that thing to a 1-touchdown game in the second half. So, at that point, I feel like our kids really started gaining confidence. And I think the moves that we have made, as coaches, as far as moving kids around, has helped us tremendously. And right now, I just feel like we're playing with a lot of confidence.
Give us the keys for Friday night.
Got to outscore them. I mean, they're going to score some points, and their system is tough offensively, so we got to make sure we are in position and not get out of position. And we did not do a very good job defending them the first time we played them. So we got to find a way to get them off the field, get some stops.
Well, just keep the ball on offense and a little bit longer.
That would be ideal. But at some point they are going to touch the ball. So we got to find a way to defend them. And then offensively, we moved the ball well at times against them. We just didn't finish out drives. So we need to finish out drives. And then we did give up a kickoff return for a touchdown. That can't happen. So we got to be strong in the special teams. And if we can get all 3 phases working cohesively and our kids play with confidence, the fact that the game's at home, we feel like, we're going to try to do our best to put ourselves in position to hopefully win that game.
How are the practices and attitude this week?
Crisp, sharp. Yeah, I mean, the kids are having fun. And, I had an old coach tell me years ago that you'll know when your kids are ready to hang up their cleats. I mean, you'll just sense it. And our kids are having a blast. And they want to keep playing, and hopefully we can keep playing into November, and that's our goal. And, we're excited to come out and see what we can do Friday night.
Yeah, when you're playing in November, you're doing something right.
That's exactly right.
Chris, can't wait to give your game a watch on Friday night, and good luck, all right?
All right. Hey, thanks a lot.
All right. Chris Meeks from the Rensselaer Central Bombers. Back and talk with more of the Coach's Kage Show on 3kgthecage.com right after this.
Anders Water Conditioning in downtown Rensselaer is here for all of your water supplies and softening needs. At Anders, we sell and rent water softeners, water coolers, and have all of your bottled water and salt needs too. Call Chuck to set up your consultation today. 219-866-7430. Anders Water Conditioning. Family owned since 1991.
Shanley Construction, Pools, and Excavating has been improving area homes and businesses since 1973. Whether residential or commercial, they offer lawn care, installation of above-ground and in-ground pools, plus pole barn and new home construction. Shanley is your source for new driveways, parking lot expansions, as well as fence row and building site clearing. Start your project by calling Jim Shanley at 219-866-5955. Shanley, Rensselaer-based, family-owned. Call today.
If you're looking for some great food before the big game or anytime, stop by the Wagon Wheel Grill on South College Avenue in Rensselaer. From their famous Wagon Masters to their great homemade chili, the Wagon Wheel is the place to go to satisfy your hunger needs. Takeout is also available by calling the Wagon Wheel at 219-866-9942.
After a hard day's work or play, it's time for some relaxation, and there's no better place than Unwind on Front Street in Rensselaer. For massage therapy, facials, spray tanning, yoga classes, and wellness, stop by Unwind. They also offer student-athletes 30-minute massages for $25. Alina would like to thank Unwind's loyal customers for their patronage since 2016. To make an appointment, call Unwind at 219-869-0290.
Reinforcements Designs is a full-service graphic design, screen printing, and sign shop. They offer logo designs, screen printing, banners, signs, vehicle lettering and graphics, airbrushing, vinyl letterings, digital printed graphics, freehand engraving, and more. 37 years of design and graphics, Reem Bontrager will help you come up with a customized project of your ideal or plan. Just ask, give Reinforcements Design a call at 219-866-8626 for your next graphic design project.
All right, back on the Coach's Cage show on 3KG, thecage.com. And next week, we're going to start bringing in the girls' basketball coaches, some of them around the area, as their season will get underway. I think November 2nd is the, I think West Central was up with Rensselaer.
So. That is, that's right. I was talking to that basketball coach tonight asking him about that, and he said it was November 2nd. So
yeah, so we'll have some of the girls' coaches in, and look forward to that as we blend into seasons, and we hope to have, well, we'll have all the football coaches back in except for Jake West, but hope they continue.
Yes.
That would be nice. Mark Hall has joined us now from the West Central Trojans. Another nice, easy victory in first-round sectional play. Tell us where you played, who you played, score, and take us through the game.
Yeah, we played at Taylor.
Ever played there before?
No. It's only the second time we've played them. Last year, we played them in the second round at home.
Where is Taylor exactly?
It is southeast of Kokomo.
Okay.
So it's
little trip for you.
There's a little town between Kokomo and where the high school is at. It's called Center, I believe is what it's called.
Center.
I believe that was what it was called.
Never heard of it.
Very small little thing that we went through to get to the high school there.
Like Francisville and Maryville?
Yeah, something like that, yeah. But they just a little thing there. They've got at Taylor, they've got some nice facilities. They've got a field turf there.
Really?
Some of the others, like the scoreboard, look a little bit older, but the field turf, like it was, I think they said like 6 or 7 years is how long they've had it.
Your kids enjoy playing on that?
Not really.
No.
We like when we go to Manchester camp in the summer. Manchester's got the field turf, so we play on there, and they complain about it. It's the little bead things. They don't like those.
The
things.
pellets.
Yeah, they don't like those things. They say they get everywhere, which I bet they do. Like I remember playing on it when I was in college, and
they burn too, or
I didn't think they were that bad when I was in college. It was a lot better than the AstroTurf. That stuff was
hard.
That stuff was bad.
Yeah.
And there can be some good in
and bad of these field turfs. Like if they're old and not really very well taken care of, they get very hard.
So you just like a well-maintained grass field.
You give me, grass field, we'll take that. Well maintained. Yes,
All right.
Good grass field. But anyway, we were there. We got out to a good start. They wanted the ball first. We intercepted it. Spencer Lehman did, and then we went right down the field, scored. It threw a pass to Josiah Rodriguez, and we got up 8-0 right away. And then they went down the field and put together a drive, and they were able to break a couple of tackles, and they've got some really athletic kids, and they went down and made it 8-6, and then we responded with a 73-yard kickoff return that set us up at the 7. And then 2 plays later, Connor Millett was in the end zone, and we're up 14-6, and then it just stayed there. And it was about halfway through the first quarter, and that had happened, and rest of the first quarter, most of the second quarter, not a whole lot took place. Defensively, we settled down after that first quarter. First quarter, we gave up, I think it was around 90 yards to Taylor.
You didn't like that?
I did not like that. A lot of missed tackles. A lot of it was adjusting to their speed that they had, and they had 3 guys that were very athletic that gave us some issues in that first quarter, but we had only given up the 6 points. Second quarter, we held them to -12. So we definitely settled in and started playing really well defensively, but offensively, we just went through a stretch there where we had 3 turnovers. We threw our first interceptions of the year.
We don't want those.
No. So we ended up throwing 2 interceptions in there, and we also had a fumble on our next 3 possessions. So
you're getting ready to pull your hair out.
Yeah, it was one of those we should be up by quite a bit because we were driving the ball. Then one of the interceptions we threw into the end zone. The other 2 times we turned it over, we were driving. So it was just what's going on here? And then we forced a turnover shortly before halftime, set us up in good field position, and we're able to go down and score. So we're up 20-6 at halftime, and the guys, they understood we should have been playing a lot better than this, and we should be up by more. Third quarter, we came out, defense again played really well. We held them to, I think it was 8 yards of offense in the third quarter. So second and third quarter combined, we held them -4 yards, which was really good defensively, especially after that first quarter.
What changed? What changed defensively?
I just think we finally got accustomed to their speed, got acclimated there, because it is it's a big change. They had some really good athletic guys there, and we just can't simulate that in practice. So once we adjusted that, things settled down for us, and we started playing better, kept things in front, and did a pretty good job there. And then offensively in the third quarter, we put on 2 more touchdowns. We didn't make our extra point. We weren't very good at our 2-point conversions. We only made 2 on Friday, so that was a problem.
That's been the norm here.
The last couple weeks, yes. We had been very successful at them earlier in the year and midway through the year, but all of a sudden, last week and our last 2 weeks, we've been struggling a little bit there.
You need to scour the lower levels for a kicker.
Well,
develop into a kicker.
Yeah.
Say, hey, I want you to kick in high school football.
Well, we probably could kick this year if we really had to. It's just about how consistent would it be.
Right.
So anyway, we're up 32-6 going into the fourth quarter.
You still were uneasy, though. I know you.
Well, I still thought that we could have done a few things better at that point. But we went down, scored again, made it 40-6. We made our 2-point conversion there, so made it 40-6. We forced, again, them to go 3 and out. Actually, no, we didn't. They went down, scored, made it 40-13 then. So we were at that 40-6. We're right there at that running clock, if it's going to kick in or not.
You never got to it.
And we never got to it. So we got 40-13. We go down, we start driving, we start putting in our younger guys. We go down, we score, make it 46-13. We made the 2-point conversion, but then we got called for holding by a guy that was 8 yards in the end zone. So it would have been 48-13, and we could have got that running clock kicked in, but
no
penalty. So we had to redo that from the 13, and all of a sudden you got to get 13 yards there to get a 2-point conversion.
That's
that was
not
a little bit
high probability
No,
of that.
no, it's not. So ended up saying 46-13. We start putting in all of our young guys are in at this point, and they went down. Again, they're very athletic. They went down. They scored. We went 3 and out. they went down and scored again. It's 46-27 at this point.
So really, the score doesn't indicate how lopsided the game was.
It was 46-27 at that point. They kicked an onside kick with like a minute and a half to go, and it bounced right up to Austin Bolin, and he just went forward, and there wasn't anybody there, so he ran it back 49 yards for a touchdown. So that's how we ended up getting to 52-27.
Wow.
So defensively, second and third quarter, we played really well. We were locked in. First quarter, it took us a little time to get adjusted to things. Fourth quarter, we gave up a lot of yards, but we had a lot of young guys getting experience. So all things that hopefully that pays off for us in the future with them getting that experience in there. And it just overall, offensively,
balance, I assume.
We were fairly passing wise. We were able to get more people involved. Rushing wise, it was a lot of Connor Marlatt and Jacob Pilarski running midline and dive things, and we really didn't get our wings too much involved. They were doing some things that defensively, that when we would motion people, they were doing some things that weren't giving us a really good opportunity to get our wings involved. So those were things that we took a look at this week to make some adjustments on some things. But Connor and Jacob played a really nice game. Each of them were around that 80 to 90 yard mark, so did well there. Dre Villarreal, we had him in there in that fourth quarter on the drives, and he ended up with, I think it was like 5 carries for 40-something yards, so he played really well there. Defensively, he led us in tackles again, had 10 tackles on the night. Christian Hughes played a really really good game on defense as well. We didn't get him involved as much on the passing game that we normally do. They did a pretty good job covering him. Like anytime he went someplace, they had 2 to 3 guys that went with him. So that opened up other things for other people. Like Josiah, he had the touchdown reception. Addison Huber had a 20-something yard, I think it was about 25, 26-yard reception on a play-action pass for us. And then Spencer Lehman and Austin Bolin, they were able to get some catches in there as well from our wing position. So we got them more involved with passing than we did our running game from them. But, again, overall, just a really nice effort by everybody that was involved. And they played hard. We were able to win. And at this point in the year, it's just doesn't really matter what the score is as long as we have more than the other team.
That's correct.
So we get to play another week. And
another week on the road. Tell us
another week. Yeah, we're going to play at Tri-Central,
another
which
team
is
you haven't played before.
Yeah, we've never played ever in the history of our school. So Taylor's was our second time this year. Then Tri-Central is
now, where's Tri-Central at? Down in the same area?
6 miles south of Taylor.
Is that
yeah,
right?
So we get to make a
even
long
further.
trip. Yeah, a long trip down there once again. The game did get pushed back to a 7:30 start instead of 7 o'clock start. That way we've got a little more time to get down there, so we don't feel as rushed to get there. So that's good that we aren't going to have to feel that rush because we can. I think the earliest we're going to be able to leave is 4 o'clock. So just to give us time that we aren't, as soon as we get there, have to.
How long a trip is that?
It was about an hour and 40 last time to get to Taylor, so it's going to be a little bit longer in there. So, typically we go to the field like at 6 if it's 7 o'clock kickoff. So if we were to get there like at if we're leaving at 4 and we'd get there somewhere like 5:45, 5:50, then that's not going to be that's too much of a rush. So by getting that little extra half hour in there, that should be good for us to.
Is that where the ADs just get there?
Yeah, and they had to contact the state to make sure it was okay, and they said it was. So it's positive that we get to do that. But
so what do you know about Tri-Central?
They're really big. They've got 3 guys up front that are 6'3", 6'4", 300-plus pounds. They're one of the largest 1A teams I've ever seen. They're very large, and typically you might have maybe one guy that's that big on a team, maybe 2, and a lot of times if you get somebody like that big, they don't move very well. But these guys, they all move well, and then their other 2 linemen up front on the offensive side are like 220, 230, and they move well. So these guys, they run double tight a lot of the times. Sometimes they'll split one guy out and keep a tight end in there. They'll have a wing, and then they run a split back veer. So that's some option type things is what it looks like, or at least they're trying to portray that they're running. So really big guys that we're going to have our hands full. Hopefully we can use some of our athleticism and make up for that. But we've tried to tell our guys all week that if they get a hold of us, it's not going to be pretty for us because we aren't that big.
What's their record?
They are 4-6 right now. They've won their last 3 games, so they're a little bit on a roll here. They've won each of them. We beat Taylor by 9. They beat Clinton Central by 7, and then they beat Frontier last week in the sectionals by 6. So they
played close games.
Played some close games there, and they put together some wins. And it's just hopefully we can do enough. Again, it's going to be, can we knock off that hour 40-plus minute drive and come out and be prepared and ready to go? Because if we aren't at this time of the year, then that's not good, and we're not playing anymore. So we got to make sure that we're ready to go, and we use everything we have. And we've been practicing this week with a wet ball just in case, because we look at the weather forecast, and the kids, they tell me that they look at it and it says there's no rain. I pull up in class and look at it, it says 70% chance. And I show it to them, like, it says 70% chance. So we're practicing with a wet ball this week, just try to make sure we're prepared, ready for it in case it does happen. Hopefully it doesn't. It would be great if it doesn't rain, but in case it does, we got to be ready.
How the practice has been going? How's the attitude?
Pretty good. We've had a little bit shorter practices this week, a little more condensed, but at this time of the year, I think that's what basically every team starts to do is you don't need to be out there hitting it as long, because by this point everyone's kind of pretty sure what they're doing. At least they should be.
They better be.
Because if we aren't by this point, then I don't know if we're going to get there.
Right.
So a little bit shorter, but we were on fall break end of last week, and then Monday as well. So we brought them in earlier than normal on Monday. We had a 10 to 12 practice where we just watched film and lifted, and then yesterday we had normal practice. It just got done a little bit earlier. Then same thing tonight, and we'll do the same thing tomorrow. We'll have a meal afterwards tomorrow for them, and then it's just make sure we're ready to go. Make sure we've crossed all of our things off that we need to go through, and make sure everyone's is on the same page on everything.
What'd you think of North White getting beat?
Yeah, that was a game they played Caston earlier in the year. It was a one-score game that time. It was like 14-6, something like that. So I wasn't surprised, really, that Caston got them. I figured it would be a close game. What I was surprised about is high scoring. It was, because it was like, 34-28, something like that. So
something like that.
That is what I was more surprised. I figured it was going to be another low-scoring game. But I thought that Caston would have a pretty good chance in there, as close as they played them the first time. So it's one of those things.
You beat Caston.
We did. We beat them by 2 scores the first game of the year, and but Caston, they've changed some things up since we played them. But right. Everybody has done that by this point. They've changed some things up since week 1. So, but yeah, it was again not a complete surprise, but just more the score and how high it was.
How about the other scores in your sectional?
About what I kind of thought. Carroll is a really good team, so I didn't think that one was going to be as close. That Frontier Tri-Central game I thought could go either way. I just kind of thought it depended which Frontier team shows up.
And what was the score of that game?
That one was 41-35, so very high scoring game. It's one of those things that I thought it could have gone either way. I thought that maybe Frontier might have the advantage since they were at home, but Tri-Central did enough and came away with it.
You won a high-scoring game for the West Central.
For us, I would like a very low-scoring game for Tri-Central, but yes, high-scoring for us would be nice to where we don't have to worry about a whole bunch of things.
Take it easy on the coats, then, right?
Yeah, it makes life easier, doesn't it?
All right, Mark. Thanks for coming over. Good luck Friday night. We'll talk to you next week.
All right, thank you.
Mark Hall from the West Central Trojans, back to wrap things up with Kirk Kennedy from the Kankakee Valley Cougars right after this.
In agriculture, preparation is important. Dedication is you deciding what to plant and then asking what it will take for a good crop. How much work will it take to produce the final crop? In sports, preparation is vital in becoming the best you can be. Dedication is a will of achievements for a winning desire. Corbett Farms encourages everyone to do their best by having a winning spirit, attitude, and achievement. Your positivity will make a difference. Corbett Farms is proud to sponsor high school sports.
Meet you at Arnie's, Rensselaer's go-to pizza, and so much more. Pizza, sandwiches, burgers are here. Don't forget about dessert. Wings, cheese sticks, garlic bread too. Arnie's pizza menu has something for everyone. Dine in or carry out in the best pizza in town. Located across from St. Joseph's College in Rensselaer. Call 219-866-9999 and meet you at Arnie's.
Reinforcements Designs is a full-service graphic design, screen printing, and sign shop. They offer logo designs, screen printing, banners, signs, vehicle lettering and graphics, airbrushing, vinyl letterings, digital printed graphics, freehand engraving, and more. 37 years of design and graphics, Reem Bontrager will help you come up with a customized project of your ideal or plan. Just ask. Give Reinforcements Design a call at 219-866-8626 for your next graphic design project.
Working with our customers has been Kentland Bank's trademark for 87 years. We're dedicated to making your visit a lasting one, and helping you achieve your goals is our #1 priority. With 5 locations, Kentland Bank offers all loans needed for today's businesses and families, including car loans, mortgages, agriculture, and commercial loans. We're here to make your busy life less hectic by offering online and mobile banking, bill pay, and P2P payments. Member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Back on the Coach's Cage on 3KGthecage.com. Bob Kurtz and Scotty Miller with you tonight. Scotty running the board and the camera, doing double duty as he always does. And we want to tell you, for your North Newton fans, John Ewing had a prior commitment tonight. He will not be here tonight, but he will be here next week to wrap up the season there. And all the rest of these guys here are season's continuing, except for just one. Jake's season's over, but Kirk Kennedy, you had me scared for a little bit there. You and Gary West were battling out for a while, but then you strong second half led you to victory, right?
Yeah, they came to play, and they were knocking us around for a while, and was just kind of hoping.
One running back was, or
yeah,
quarterback.
Yeah, well, their line on both sides of the ball, their lines were very physical, very big, and they were playing hard. They're playing aggressive. They came to play, and we had to answer their effort and their enthusiasm and kind of recapture momentum and about halfway through the second quarter, things kind of started to come back our way, and then we kind of took over the game a little bit there, especially in the second half. But
because you were behind 16-7 at one.
Yeah,
point,
we were
right?
behind 16-7, and you just kind of you start to have those thoughts, about we'll turn our stuff
playing.
Yeah, we're at that point where you either start playing or start thinking about collecting your stuff. So. To our kids' credit, they kicked it into gear and took over the game, like I said, later on. But, it's just it was a tough game, and it was a good first-round opponent for us.
You got some pretty potent offensive weapons, though.
Yeah, and that's kind of one of the main reasons that we decided to, get out of just being in the eye all the time and start doing some different things offensively is, take more advantage of some of our offensive skill, and for the most part, our kids have responded. So it's good to see that we can make adjustments and kind of tweak things to fit our personnel more, and we've had a very productive year running the football. We've had a very productive year throwing the football, and our return game and our special team. And a lot of that has to do with some talent that we've got on the team, but a lot of it has to do with scheme too, and just executing good team football.
So what was the difference in the second half from the first half for you guys?
Well, I think that, you never know, but just what you see and kind of the way the game progresses, I think we kind of warmed down a little bit, and I think our kids kind of saw what was going on and developed a sense of urgency and picked it up. We had halftime. We had some schematic adjustments in what we were doing, especially defensively, but most of the adjustments were just in attitude and effort, which a lot of times those are the best kind of adjustments.
That's right. Well, tell us who played well for you the other night.
Well, I got some stats here. Marco Castro, he's our tailback. We got that's
30 to 40 carries, I'm sure.
Well, he had 25 carries for.
Oh, that's a light load.
Yeah. He kind of had the night off. 25 carries, 190 yards, 2 touchdowns, and he had a couple 2-point conversions. That's one thing about West Side is they go for 2 a lot, so it kind of dictates a lot of times what we had to do. Our third touchdown, I think it was third or fourth maybe, but we decided to go for 2 to try to go up by 8. Just in case they scored again, and so they wouldn't take the lead. It would be a tie. So we went for 2 a couple times and got it, thankfully. But because I've always had a philosophy of you don't go for 2 until you have to. Like a lot of times, you might miss an extra point, or the other team will go for 2, or whatever. And if you play that game, throughout the course of 4 quarters, then you're going to end up chasing points. So it's always been my philosophy of going for 1 or kicking, going for 1 or going for 2. That don't go for 2 until you absolutely have to, and obviously that means at the end of the game.
Do you have a lot of 2-point conversion plays?
Not really. Not really plays that's dedicated just to a 2-point conversion. But obviously you run
your offense.
Different kind of plays that more short yardage stuff, especially if you're going to throw the ball. You wouldn't want to call a bomb on a 2-point conversion.
Now, a 2-point conversion is from what yard line?
3.
3-yard line. Okay.
Uh-huh.
So that's in between there. You don't know if you can run it or pass it, right?
Yeah. I mean, you got to figure that the opponent is stacked up to stop the run. So play action pass. I've always liked rolling the quarterback out. That way you got a run pass option.
Right.
Out there in the flat. But there's so many things you can do, and a lot of times, especially if you're doing it at the end of the game, the whole game can come down to one play.
Sure.
So you've seen that several times, especially in games that are in overtime. A team will line up and go for 2, and whole game is riding on one play.
Right.
So that's a lot. But again, Marco, 25 for 190, 2 touchdowns, and kind of a neat night for Marco because he set the school single-season rushing record.
Oh, great.
He's got 1,545 yards, and the old record was about 100 less than that. It was about mid-14s was the old record.
And he's still an underclassman, right?
Yeah, Marco's a junior. And I believe the...
Makes you smile that
he's
going to be back next year.
Sure. The guy that held it before, I believe, was Tyler Berkey. He played for Coach Stewart back when Brad was the head coach, and Marco broke that the other night. So, not only credit to Marco, but obviously the offensive line and
absolutely
just the offense in general that that were that productive that he can break records like that. Lane Zander has also set a single season record for receiving yardage in a season with 653.
He's got to have a return yardage record.
Well, he's got the returns for touchdown in a single season record. The old record was 3. He's got 4. He's got 4 kickoffs and 1 punt, so that's 3 kickoffs and 1 punt, so that's 4.
Like 4 extra touchdowns that you aren't expecting,
Yeah. Well, we'll take it, But yeah, so Lane's had a very productive year. He had 2 receptions for 78 yards and 1 touchdown. Diego Arroyo, need to mention him statistically. If you just look at the numbers, anybody can see from the top row of the stadium, what a quarterback's doing. Diego was 6 for 8 on the night, which is very, very efficient. So, but the game conditions kind of dictate that. It always do. It always does with us. But 6 out of 8 for 119 yards, 2 touchdowns. A very efficient night.
Absolutely.
But what I was mostly proud of Diego on the night was just his the way he conducted the game. We didn't have any turnovers. And that starts with the quarterback making good decisions. So no turnovers and just the way he managed the game. Called, I know 2 or 3 audibles that worked real good. So just showing leadership coming off the field, on the sidelines, in the huddle.
And he's underclassman too, right?
Yeah, he's a junior. So, the sometimes the most important contributions a quarterback can make is things that the typical fan doesn't even see. Like I said, those audibles and the leadership thing, just the small things. But he was very efficient in leading our offense that night. Defensively, Eli Deerdorf led us in tackles, 4 solos, 9 assists. He also had a couple sacks and 3 tackles for loss.
He's a beast.
Oh, he is. And not to mention, just the motor he plays with on both sides of the ball. A lot of these kids are, I think we got either 5 or 6 going both ways, and people want to, you got kids going both ways. Well, if you're not going both ways, you're only playing half the game. And conditioning and strength training, I mean, there's things you can do to make sure that the kid has the stamina to play both ways. And I mean, this is high school football. A lot of times the things you see on TV, whether it be college or pro, don't really apply to high school. So Eli's got a motor. He's a monster. He's a playmaker for us, and we're glad he's on our team. We don't have to prepare for him. Adrian Utchman, our corner, had 5 solos and 8 assists. Ed Ritchie, one of our linebackers, he had 2 solos and 8 assists. Gabe Kissler, he's our defensive tackle on the other side from Eli. He had 1 solo, but he had 8 assists. A lot of assists because we're more or less playing in a phone booth, because their formation was real tight, and there wasn't a lot of plays being made on the perimeter because they weren't really getting the ball on the perimeter much. It was mostly in between the tackles. And Jaden Anderson, a sophomore for us, been very productive this year at outside linebacker. He had 1 solo and 6 assists. So just
do you have any seniors?
Yeah, well, sad to say, yes. Lane Zander's a senior. Eli Deerdorf's a senior.
Okay.
Yeah, Logan Burke's a senior. Gabe Kissler's a senior.
We'll get to those later.
Yeah, we're losing some good football players, whenever the end of the season comes. But yeah, it's a good mixture of seniors and
guys that are coming back. All right, this week another home game, I believe, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're home. We're home against New Prairie.
And New Prairie is pretty good, right?
Yeah, they're here lately. They've been a perennial, state champion contender. So obviously our work's going to be cut out for us. Their New Prairie's thing is they like to run a double tight, triple tight end form, so that they're gonna spread your front out, make you defend extra gaps, and they run. They'll be down blocking the play side and bringing some backside linemen around like a counter tray look, and they're going to force you to defend extra gaps and their power running game, and they've got a very good quarterback who can run it and throw it pretty much equally well. He's 3-year starter at least, and he's very good, very accurate passer. So if they catch you napping, coming up to defend and run, they can get behind you, and like I said, he's going to throw an accurate ball. So their offense is going to test us. Defensively, they run more or less a 3-3 stack with overhangs, and they get a lot of people to the football. And like I said, they're a state caliber team for a reason. They play very aggressively, and they're very good. They're very confident. So we're going to have to be disciplined and execute that and match their toughness and match their discipline to be able to compete that night. It's something that we can do, and we had one of our best practices of the year today. So our kids. Doesn't seem to be any quit in them. Their attitude. Like Coach Meek said. You can tell when a team is ready to hang it up. And
you gotta.
I don't think our kids. I don't think our kids are at that point.
You gotta. They gotta believe too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And the body language. Just you can say whatever you want, but the body language is the ultimate truth. And we wouldn't have had the practice we had today if our kids are ready to hang it up.
Right.
So
New Prairie's 8-2.
Yeah. They got beaten by Penn, and their first game was LaPorte. They lost that one, so they've been beaten by 2 bigger schools.
Bottom half of your bracket, pair of 4-6 teams playing. Highland at Culver Academy.
Mm-hmm.
Did that surprise you at all? The results down on the bottom half.
Well, Culver Academy beating Lowell. That might have been a small surprise. The game was at Lowell, but Highland beating East Chicago, that wasn't a surprise. So Highland and Culver Military be battling it out, for the
Two teams you've beaten, right? Or no, this is
we beat both Highland and Highland we beat pretty soundly, but that was just kind of a funny night. You play the game again, probably get a different score, but Culver ended up being a pretty tough game for. We had a lead and they got back into the game late, and we had to kind of hang on, but and that was at our place.
Every game is at your place.
Yeah, we didn't play any away games this year.
Doesn't seem like it anyway.
Well, what is this week?
Played Rensselaer.
This is week 11
on the road.
This is week 11.
Yes.
And we've only played 4 away games. And if you count our scrimmage, it was at home. That's even another one. So we have had the overwhelming majority of our games at home, which is nice.
Next week, though, you'll be on the road regardless, right?
Yeah. Next week is so. But hey, we got to earn that privilege.
That's right. We might as well be talking in November, hadn't we?
Well, that'd be awesome.
All right, go get them Friday. Okay?
Well, hey, we're gonna. You got the battle of two cats, right?
Yeah.
2 cougars.
Yep.
One's gonna roar, one's gonna meow. So
it was the same way last week. One Gary West Cougars.
Yeah. I hope we got to make our opponents be doing the meowing, and we'll be doing the roaring.
All right, Kirk. Thanks for coming down.
Hey, thanks for having us.
All right, Kirk Kennedy from the Kankakee Valley Cougars are back to wrap things up on the Coach's Cage Show on 3kgthecage.com right after this.
Pulver Psychological Services offers psychological counseling, consultation, and assessment. Locally owned and operated, Pulver Psych focuses on solutions for the community and serves as support for individuals, families, and organizations. Whether you're in need of personal, family, or success counseling, Pulver Psychological Services can help you reach your life goals. Increase work satisfaction, have better relationship compatibility, improve sports performance. Get in touch with Pulver Psychological Services by visiting pulverpsych.com.
Hi, this is Chuck Clark with the Underwood Insurance Agency, formerly Preferred Insurance Group. Are you tired of being sacked every month with your auto insurance bill? Do you feel you just pay your premium to your agent and never hear from them? We at the Underwood Insurance Agency work with over 10 insurance carriers to get you our best rate and coverage we can, and we pride ourselves on serving our customers like they are our family. We are conveniently located in Remington and Lafayette. We can be reached at underwoodagency.com. Reach out to us to score big savings.
High-quality, personalized dental service is what they do at Hillcrest Dental. For over 40 years, generations have relied on Hillcrest Dental for beautiful, healthy smiles. Dr. John Ayler and Dr. Jack Drone look forward to seeing you for your next dental visit. For information or to set your appointment, call 219-866-7117. That's 219-866-7117. Or visit hillcrestdental.net. Hillcrest Dental is a proud sponsor of all high school athletics.
24/7 Club Fit is a 24-hour keycard accessed fitness center located in downtown Rensselaer. The 8,000 square foot facility offers free weights, weight machines, and a large variety of cardio equipment. We also offer free aerobics classes. 24/7 Club Fit offers 6-month contracts starting as low as $25 per month for students, those 55 years and older, and there are no sign-up or keycard fees. We also participate in the Silver Sneakers program. Call 219-866-0033 or contact us on Facebook. 24/7 Club Fit, where time is no excuse.
Hi, this is Chuck Clark with the Underwood Insurance Agency, formerly Preferred Insurance Group. Are you tired of being sacked every month with your auto insurance bill? Do you feel you just pay your premium to your agent and never hear from them? We at the Underwood Insurance Agency work with over 10 insurance carriers to get you our best rate and coverage we can, and we pride ourselves on serving our customers like they are our family. We are conveniently located in Remington and Lafayette. We can be reached at underwoodagency.com. Reach out to us to score big savings.
After a hard day's work or play, it's time for some relaxation, and there's no better place than Unwind on Front Street in Rensselaer. For massage therapy, facials, spray tanning, yoga classes, and wellness, stop by Unwind. They also offer student-athletes 30-minute massages for $25. Alina would like to thank Unwind's loyal customers for their patronage since 2016. To make an appointment, call Unwind at 219-869-0290.
Anders Water Conditioning in downtown Rensselaer is here for all of your water supplies and softening needs. At Anders, we sell and rent water softeners, water coolers, and have all of your bottled water and salt needs too. Call Chuck to set up your consultation today. 219-866-7430. Anders Water Conditioning. Family owned since 1991.
If you're looking for some great food before the big game or anytime, stop by the Wagon Wheel Grill on South College Avenue in Rensselaer. From their famous Wagon Masters to their great homemade chili, the Wagon Wheel is the place to go to satisfy your hunger needs. Takeout is also available by calling the Wagon Wheel at 219-866-9942.
Founded in 1931, Community State Bank in Brook is your community bank. We specialize in relationship banking while offering the technology required to meet your modern banking needs. Community State Bank is the area leader in new construction loans and home mortgages. Our lenders know small business and have products to meet your farm and business needs. We're available to get to know you and your needs today at 224 West Main in Brook or by calling 219-275-2441.
Member FDIC and equal housing lender.
All right, ready to wrap things up on the Coach's Cage show. Don't forget, next week we'll bring some of the girls' coaches in to preview their season. It gets underway November 2nd, I think, the season for girls basketball kicks off officially, but we'll have them in on November the 1st. Yeah, we're switching in November next month or next week, and hopefully have some winners on the football side, too, to keep them going. So we'll let you know how it all breaks down next Wednesday on the Coach's Cage show. Thank Beth and the gang here at Arnie's. Thank our sponsors, and Scotty Miller, another brilliant job of keeping us on the air and keeping the camera focused properly. And until next week, so long, everybody.
The proceeding was a presentation of 3KG Community Broadcasting.